Question 41 is about IAS 23 borrowing costs and is asking us what the total amount which would be capitalised in respect of an office extension would be. So here it tells us that we've built an extension at the cost of $70,000, so clearly we're going to capitalise that part, but then what IAS 23 does is require us to capitalise borrowing costs that relate to part of the period of construction. So the key thing normally is looking at what period we actually capitalise for, and we start when we first start incurring costs on the actual project, and then we're required to stop capitalising when the asset is ready for use. In this case, that isn't what they're actually focused on, because they've told us that it's a 3-month project, and so we need to capitalise the borrowing costs for that 3-month period. The slight difficulty in this case is that we've actually borrowed 2 loans totalling $115,000, only $70,000 of which actually relate to this extension. So we need to go and work out what proportion of the loans relates to this project to then be able to calculate what proportion of interest should be capitalised. So over the course of a year, the first loan of $25,000 would be charged interest at a rate of 7%, giving us a figure of $1,750, and the second loan of $90,000 would be charged interest at a rate of 5.5%, giving us a total of $4,950, so that annual borrowing costs on these 2 loans would amount to $6,700. So what we now need to do is say, of the $115,000 that was borrowed in total, $70,000 relates to the extension. That proportion of the $6,700 would be the figure that we would consider capitalising, but that's for a whole year, whereas our project only takes us 3 months. Now, in actual fact, when I work my figures through on this, I end up with an answer of 1019.56 to add to my 70,000, but the nearest answer to that is this one here. In the question, they've actually asked us to go and calculate the interest rate, but we don't need to do that. This method will work perfectly fine, apart from these slight rounding issues.